What's up, guys? Welcome back to Mets Talk. And today we got a special episode because while you were watching the New York Rangers, the New York Islanders, the Brooklyn Nets, whoever you were watching last night, news broke that Jacob deGrom, Jacob the Snake, Jacob the Fraud, whatever you want to call him now, has signed with the Texas Rangers for 5 years, 185 million, was it? Something along those lines. So Jacob deGrom, despite every single thing that was said throughout the offseason, said throughout the season that he loved being a Met, that he wanted to be here his whole career, that he loved playing in front of these fans, despite spewing all that garbage to Mark Canha, spewing all the garbage to Zach Wheeler, Noah Syndergaard, who else? Whoever else gave some garbage, he gave garbage to that said he loved being a Met and that he wanted to stay. All that was a lie, and he ended up walking, not even giving the Mets a chance to counter offer. And that is where Nico and I have our issues personally, but we're going to talk more about it. Before we do, leave a like on the podcast if you do enjoy this. Subscribe if you guys are new as well. And if you're listening to the audio version, give us a review and rating. We got a lot to talk about here. This absolutely sucks. I can't say I'm shocked, though. I can't say I'm shocked.
Yep. I mean, we said it when we were doing our free agent predictions on the last episode, I believe it was. We both said he was a Texas Ranger. I mean, we saw it coming kind of for a mile away. So, I mean, now that it's reality, though, it sucks. I mean, the guy said, as he said, he wanted to be his whole career. He said how much he loved the fans, this and that. And then it just seems like he's had his mind made up for a while now that he wanted to leave. And it sucks. I mean, yeah, it's not the Atlanta Braves or Philadelphia Phillies, but to me, it's still just as worse. I mean, as soon as this Mets team was starting to get good and really start contending for a World Series, he just dips on us. It really sucks. And as you said, not even giving us a chance to give him a counter offer. It's unbelievable, and I'm disappointed in Jacob for sure.
And for everyone also saying that, oh, well, it's okay because what did the Mets do for him? Well, here's a tweet that happened 3 hours ago from Mike Puma. After Buck Showalter was named Manager of the Year recently, he received a heartfelt message from deGrom telling him how much the pitcher enjoyed playing for him and praising Showalter for the improved team culture. In the end, it was a business decision for deGrom. So the culture changed, and he felt that way too. But for whatever reason, it wasn't enough. I don't know what more the Mets could have done. And then there's also the crazy narrative that, oh, he left because Max Scherzer got the 43 million and the Mets gave it to him in his walk year. Who cares? You would have paid both and you would have paid deGrom more. Who cares? But at the end of the day, deGrom, and it was also reported all of yesterday, his eyes were set on going to the Texas Rangers all along. He was apparently, according to his agent, so far down the road with the Texas Rangers that there was no looking back. And it doesn't shock me. It really doesn't shock me. I knew all along that he wasn't going to come back. And any garbage that he said, if anyone fell for it, I mean, that sucks to be you because it was obvious all along that it was just all nonsense that he was spewing. And like Salicata put it, he'd rather play for a 68 win ball team than play for a team that just made the postseason, despite getting killed in the wild card. Would rather play for a team that hasn't been in the playoffs for a long time than play for the New York Mets, the team that drafted him, the team that gave him a chance to begin with, the team that made him the pitcher that he became today. He chose to go to a garbage franchise. It's that simple.
Yep, exactly. I mean, he clearly doesn't care about winning. I mean, how are you going to the Texas Rangers? And like the point you made about Max Scherzer, like, did you not want to be paired with like a perfect 1-2 punch, having one of the other best pitchers in baseball alongside of you? The Mets were gonna pay you. I don't understand. He just never made it seem like he wanted to be back as much as like he would say, during like the wild card and like the post games and when the season ended, he just didn't seem like his heart was here anymore. He was just kind of spewing out the baloney. We'll see what happens, this and that. But I'm disappointed. I really am. There's a good chunk of Mets fans though that are okay with this move, and we're definitely in the minority there that are not very happy with him. So it's going to be interesting. We know we're booking that date on our calendar late August when the Texas Rangers come into crowd, and we'll certainly be at that game where deGrom makes his return. But right now, this really stings, and the Mets are going to have to make some major pivots elsewhere.
Yeah, which we'll talk more about that later, more of the where they have to pivot and what road they'll go down next. But for right now, just to talk more about deGrom, it's just ridiculous. And now everyone with their deGrom jerseys, feel free to do whatever with it. Feel free to customize it, put the snake, the fraud, the liar, like Nico did
Yep.
do the clown, the cap, do whatever with it.
Yeah,
Do
you have a
whatever
lot
with your
of
deGrom jersey. You have a lot of options with
yeah,
that,
absolutely.
because that's the great part about his name. We could do a lot of custom things with this part here, and then just put insert whatever noun, verb, whatever you want to do. Insert whatever word there. Do whatever with it. Well, I'll rock the real ace of the team. Imagine telling a Met fan that 2 years
Oh
ago. I'd
my
be saying
god.
Max Scherzer's my real ace.
I
But
can't believe it.
regardless of him pitching like garbage, at least he handles free agency the right way, because at least even with the Dodgers, he gave them a chance to offer contract after contract, and he actually gave the Dodgers a chance to make a counter offer, and the Dodgers didn't match that offer, so he decided to go to the Mets. And deGrom, he was all, nah, I'm going to Texas. I don't care. I don't care what the Mets offer. I don't care if they are willing to offer more. Don't care. I'm already going to Texas. See you later. He did not care, and it's the sad reality of it.
Yep, exactly what you said. I agree with everything. It's unbelievable. When I first saw this, I didn't. I mean, I didn't believe it because like it was kind of out of nowhere, right? I mean, who knew when all these like when the big first domino was gonna fall here with Jacob deGrom? Because it's been taking a little while for free agency to pick up, but this certainly picked it up, and I'm not happy for one as well as you, obviously, and all Mets fans, but it is what it is. He wants to go to Texas. I mean, if you don't want to win deGrom, go ahead and just leave. Hopefully, Texas just keeps being a shit team. I'm sorry. I don't want to see any success for them at all.
Oh, yeah, we're absolutely preying on their downfall now. And
No doubt.
Michael K's tweet was dead on, which I don't know why, though, this is becoming a bit of a narrative that, oh, the Mets didn't want to give an extra year or two, and that's why deGrom left. He didn't give the Mets a chance to give an extra year or two. The Mets' final offer that they got to put in was 3 years. They didn't even get a chance to counteroffer, but sure, we'll go with the narrative. But I agree either way, regardless. If the Mets say they didn't want to give extra years, okay. Michael K said giving an injury-prone pitcher an all-time great one a 5-year guaranteed contract at those numbers is a gamble. The Mets made a good decision. They know him better than any other organization, and it wouldn't be wise to even come close. So I agree with that. If the Mets, like, I don't, again, the narrative for whatever reason from fans is that the Mets did get to put in a final offer to deGrom, when in reality their final offer wasn't even a counter offer to what the Rangers did. If that was the case, then fine. I'd actually be somewhat less hurt of with deGrom leaving, because if you're going after the bag, whatever, fine. But he didn't give the Mets a chance to make a counter offer. That's my issue here, and that's what every Met fan's issue should be. And I agree, though, regardless, if it was the case, because why would the Mets gamble that? Why would the Mets gamble giving a injury-prone pitcher that extra year or two when in reality they could go out and sign two other guys, which we'll talk about later on, that have been healthier, although one of them hasn't been, but he was all of last season, so that's a positive sign.
Yeah. Um. And again, just going back to deGrom. I mean, from Tim Healy here, I mean, this was a while ago where Billy Epler spoke to deGrom's agent saying multiple times before deGrom became a free agent, we kind of made a pact to stay in touch, Epler said, and clearly that wasn't the case because deGrom, I mean, it doesn't seem like he had much of any conversation with the Mets, and it's really hurting, and I don't know how to feel. I'm there's so many emotions. deGrom's been here for so long, and now he's gone just like that. Not even. It's just a horrible ending, just going out so sad in the wild card. I mean, he gave us a good start in game 2. I was hoping we could have built off that and really strive for a World Series these next few years, but it's not going to be the case. And as you said, we're going to be discussing 2 pitches here pretty soon that are obviously the front and center, as the Mets said, for them to really look to sign here.
And then we do have breaking news. If anyone cares, the Baltimore Orioles signed Kyle Gibson. That's a pitcher off the market that maybe the Mets were going to explore as a back end of the rotation guy. But to wrap up the conversation about deGrom, if you were trying to leave James McCann, well, good luck with that, because according to Buster Olney, they might explore a trade there. So, yeah, deGrom, if that's what you were trying to do, if you're trying to escape James McCann, well, you failed at that because it's looking like you might still have to pitch to him. So, sucks to be
Please make
you.
it happen.
And the last thing that I'll say for Jacob deGrom, I'll thank you for the good memories, but at the end of the day, you didn't pitch well down the stretch. You pitched well in the wild card game. I'll give you that. You didn't pitch well down the stretch, though. You pitched like garbage in game 2 of the World Series in 2015. So, and you didn't give us a lot of starts the past 2 years. So, to that I say, good riddance. Have fun in Texas. Hopefully, you enjoy your time there. Hopefully, you get for your sake, sure, whatever. Hopefully, you get the run support that you think you'll get there. Because I'll tell you right now, August 28th or whatever day it is that you pitch against the Mets, hopefully Max Scherzer throws a no-hitter. You don't get any run support that game. That would be generational. But, yeah, that's all I'll say there to wrap up that conversation.
Yeah, for me, the final words for deGrom, thank him, obviously, for just being a great pitcher for the New York Mets all this time. But as you said, just those last 3 years, like the injuries, not pitching well down the stretch for the Mets there. I mean, sure, he was great, obviously, never getting the run support. He would always take the accountability. That's what I loved about the guy, even though he shouldn't have been doing that. He did, but I don't know. He did it when the Mets sucked. So we didn't get to see it really when the Mets were a truly contending team. And then, as you said, going back to the 2015 World Series, didn't pitch good. So, thank you, Jake. But this was a sour ending, and you kind of left a bad last impression here on the New York Mets fans, I'd say.
Yep, and instead of wanting to have his number retired and maybe have a statue out of the stadium, he decided, let me go to Texas. So, sure thing, Jake. But again, whatever. I also got to witness your worst start in person against the Chicago Cubs. So,
ooh, yikes.
great thing there. But yeah, that's all we'll say about Jacob deGrom. Now we'll move on to